That's right. Whitty review time, Tuesday, 8 o'clock p.m. Chateau de Martel Studio. You know who's back. Your old pal Slick Whitty, a.k.a. Stephen Whitmer, a.k.a. the Baron of Banville, a.k.a. the one half of the Abba Yagas of Central Indiana. That's right. We're back again. Awesome, right? Okay, let's just get into it. I'm in a mood because there's a lot to talk about, especially what has happened in the last couple of days. I'm sure that you have seen it, what is going on Twitter. I talked about it on Saturday, but I will give you, there's been a lot that has happened since Saturday night, too. All right, so rest in peace, Micah Beckwith's political career. No more Charlie Kirk, no more Fox News moderator, no more political commentator. No one's going to take you serious anymore, all because of one tweet. We all kind of saw this one coming, though. We saw when he decided to bail out during the Senate floor to go to Purdue, I think it was, to go hang out with Charlie Kirk. We saw it when he was bullshitting about the Tahoe. And there are a couple other examples, too. I was part of this private group chat on Saturday. And after that group chat, I became the official deport Micah Beckwith train because I'm just over his smart-ass bullshit. I may or may not talk about that during the show, though. But let's, what happened, right? What happened? Well, the reason why I have these screenshots, by the way, is because Micah or Micah's team, whoever runs his official Twitter account, deleted the original post. All right, so September 5th at, I think that was on Friday, right? Yeah, so Friday at 5 o'clock p.m., he goes, yesterday I sat with Haitian pastors from Marion County. Their people have endured earthquakes and violence, and now more than 40,000 are seeking asylum in Indiana. We spoke about barriers of language and culture while also discussing the power of faith and family. What I saw was not a community asking for a handout, but people determined to work hard, raise their children to become contributors to the great Hoosier state and assimilate to American life. Now, everybody has probably met Haitians. Have you met any real Haitians that have assimilated to the American life? Because I sure haven't. And I would say all of these 40,000 seeking asylum are going to get government bennies off of your taxpayer dime. And what's worse about it, I think Micah is fully convinced that these people want to assimilate. They don't. They want to have handouts. We have seen this time and time again. Maybe if Micah lived in Marion County instead of his elitist area over in Hamilton County, he would understand that. You know what, like, kind of pisses me off, though? All these people that are part of these religious churches, Christianity, Catholic, Protestant, whatever, and they're like, hey, you know what? We should go to this third world shithole and help them out. But they never help out around here. I cannot stand those types of people where they put more effort in trying to help out a third world country than their own home. It's bullshit. I hate it. All right, so he gets completely destroyed, by the way. By the time I screenshot it, it was 2.2 million views. It was actually more like almost 3 million views. You can see it right there, 3 million views by the time that it ended. And then there was a rebuttal, which I archived this. This was at, I think there was like a couple of hours later. I think there's a couple hours later. He goes, if you know my stance on immigration, you should know the sentiment behind this. I have said time and time again that our border should be shut down and we need the federal government to halt any more asylum seekers until we get a handle on it. Actually, hold on. Let me see. I think it might be this one from archive. Yeah. So we can get a handle on the current crisis. Oh, they can't. Oh, it cuts it off. Oh, that's great. Wonderful. Then Blake, and then a couple hours after that, he goes, ultimately, advocating for firmness does not mean abandoning love. I was letting these pastors know that they have a responsibility to care for their own community. It is their job to do that. It's not our job to fund them. Really? Now, he can say that all he wants, but from his original post, does it not look like he is saying, oh, man, I can't even click on it either. It's totally over, huh? And now more than 40,000 are seeking asylum in here. We spoke about barriers of language. There is none of that in the original tweet where he goes, these people need to assimilate. These people should not have government handouts. Either they should be learning how to speak English, not have government handouts, and totally assimilate to the American way of life, then they need to be deported. That's what he should have said. Now the aftermath of this whole thing is beautiful. You know what? It was chef's kiss. It was a beautiful moment because we finally saw all the bullshit happen at one time because all the right-wing people were coming out about this whole thing. We had this guy, John Jackson, who has 126,000 views, followers, 700,000 views at that time. Actually, let's see what it had. What it's at now? Yeah, and then obviously Micah deleted it. But this was the what he had said earlier last year. Micah joined Kayla from Wawa to speak about the Haitian migrant influx happening in Indiana, calling out local and state leaders for their science. Ah, that's weird. And then this was in November. Rokita is stepping up to protect Indiana's small towns from an influx of illegal immigration that threatens our community's stability. His latest investigation to the surge of Haitian migrants is a bold move to ensure Hoosier safety and uphold the rule of law. I mean, Ethan said it first. The hypocrisy is off the charts. He has no core convictions, which I at this point, I don't know what he believes in. I don't know if he's just saying, hey, you know what? As long as they're here legally and as long as they assimilate, but they haven't. We've seen it time and time again when foreigners from third world lands come into this country, they do not try to assimilate. All they want is money, money, please, money. I want more of it. And I think we've all noticed of how disgusting it is when in Wayne Township there are 77 different languages, or the superintendent is bragging about it too. There was another one. I want to show this. So I found this one on Facebook. This was from Christina Agawa News. And then there was a tweet on this thing. My mouse. There we go. And at the very bottom, it goes, Beckwith swears that new asylum claims will bring in people who want to assimilate. Now, here's the funny part. Micah said, I never said that, nor do I believe that. And then everybody just starts pounding after him. You said a lot of things. Do you believe this post? And obviously, we had to like all this stuff. MAGA strikes again, blah, blah, blah. All right. Yeah, these two people are, I don't know. Should we block them? Let's see. Should I block them? Yeah, let's block them. They're getting blocked. We're gonna block this person. Oh, they don't even follow us anymore. All right, yeah, you're getting blocked. Later. You're not gonna be disrupting. You know, I said that I talked about this on Saturday. There's like people, there's like dumb people, and then there's retarded people. And the retards are going to get blocked. Because they're just they're coming in there starting shit, but then they don't bring anything to the conversation. There's like, oh, socialist, MAGA socialist, and we know who they are. They're libtards starting shit. Yeah, you're getting blocked. Eat it. All right, so, but earlier that day, he talked about the Dearborn Heights. They changed their badge, right, or their logo. Adding foreign languages like Arabic to official government logos isn't inclusion, it's erosion of the American way of life. Our strength as a nation has always come from many backgrounds joining together under one flag, one culture, one common tongue. But yet, bringing in 40,000 Haitians is a good idea, right? Okay. So Oilfield Rando goes after him. You can't see it because it's blocked. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I kept seeing this too. He turns off replies, so is willing to listen to Haitian pastors, not American citizens. Okay. That thing has been going. I've been seeing everybody post that. Let me tell you right now. He has done that since day one. And I think Diego did it for a while too. And everyone's like, oh, you know what? It's illegal, blah, blah, blah. Also, somebody pointed out that him deleting it is not allowed. And I think it's borderline not allowed. It has to be archived. So I don't know if he knows that. I don't know how they're archiving it. I mean, we archived it, obviously. But I think if it's wrong, if he broke the rules, it's like $100 fine, from what I could find. We had Raw Egg Nationalist, you had Captive Dreamer, you had Aaron McIntyre, you had Captain Dreamer. This one's kind of fun too. 10,000 Haitians into Evansville. This stuff makes me sick. Full on replacement. They're hitting small-sized Midwestern cities with this stuff. Can't let it happen. Where is it? Steve Ducci. I don't know how you say his name. I don't know if it's Deech or Ducci or what it is, but this one's really interesting because Ducci had Micah on his show, and I clipped it. And I posted it up on Twitter a while back. He goes, this guy asked me to come to my show for well over a year. We finally booked him as a positive example of Christian conservative leadership to our audience. Had I known he advocated for this, I would never done so. I've been to Haiti. I've done ministry in Haiti. I've donated time and money to people of Haiti, and I urge others to do the same if they have it. They are made in God's image, and their culture is deep in despair and in need of help it can get, of all the help it can get, which is precisely why it should never, ever be imported en masse to our country. I am all for ministries helping Haiti if they can, but under no condition should the American government be bringing Haiti here. Obviously, 100%. We shouldn't be bringing any of these third world cultures here. They do not know how to assimilate. How are you expecting somebody or a culture or a group of people that don't even know proper sanitation to come into this world and know how to do things? That's like my biggest argument right there. How are you going to bring someone in who doesn't know how to use a fucking toilet and then say, hey, you know what? They'll be a great contributor to society. Really? Doing what? A ditch digger? Maybe? I think I saw Bernovich. Yeah, he's still going after Beckwith. This was 4 hours ago. Indiana's next governor supports unlimited Haitian immigrants into Indiana. He deleted his post without explanation. All right, so what I wanted to point out too from this Steve Ducci one are two things. One is Micah responded to it. He goes, I'm not calling for them to come to the U.S. I'm saying they are already here because of the idiotic policies of the previous administration, which I condemn. That meeting was to implore pastors in Indy Haitian community to step up and care for their own people because taxpayer resources are not for them. But, hold on, I'll get to this in a but. Also, I told the pastors if anyone in the congregations are here illegal, they need to encourage them to self-deport. I've been the most supportive statewide elected official of the Trump immigration policies in the entire state of Indiana. That has not changed. But that meeting was to implore pastors in the Indy Haitian community to step up and care for their own people because taxpayer resources. But you said you saw a community not asking for a handout, but people determined to work hard. That's what you said. But then you also, on the flip side, go that the pastors in Indy Haitian community should step up and care for their own people. But yet you said, wait a minute, but these people are willing to work hard. So which one is it? Either they are here to work hard. You said the pastors should step up for them to step up for their own people because taxpayer resources are not for them. Or you said, what I saw was not a community asking for a handout, but people determined to work hard. Which one is it? And obviously, he gets just blown out in the comments. You are, first of all, deport. Probably could have said that from the outlet, turning off your comments. Yeah. So then the right thing to do is ship them out. Why did you delete your ex? Blah, 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 blah. He is just eating it in the comments. Now, one of the things that I noticed right after that happened was he started loading up let's see, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He had like a tweet every couple of hours. He was blowing up his timeline, and it was because he was. I mean, this is kind of a low effort response or a low effort to try and get people off your back. Is just load up with all the typical. Hey man, I'm on your side. Hey, I don't know why you took it that way. Check this stuff out. Hey, isn't this meme funny? Isn't this meme funny? Huh? Or even this thing. Then there's like this conservative thing happening next week, and I was like, I first off, you have to pay for it. Beckwith is hosting it, I think, or he's one of the people on panel, whatever it is. And I got invited, and you have first off, you have to pay for it, which I'm not going to do. And number two, Beckwith is there, and he is totally dead in my book. Betrayer Beckwith, backstabbing Beckwith, Benedict Beckwith, all the above. And I will tell you like a little snippet of this private conversation that I was part of. Was he explained that it was his communications person, which I'm calling bullshit out, because your communications person is not reading the room then, or is not based. And unless you're going to have like based people part of your team, what are you doing? And I told him, was like, and this, I was being for real on this too. I said, seriously, you need to fire your whole team. And I've been saying that for a while. That he needs to completely clean out his whole group. Those people are no good for you. They're not based at all. They're probably a bunch of yes men just telling us like, yeah, Micah, whatever you say, I'll do, huh? I would guarantee you, whatever criticism that Micah gets from them, he'll probably yell at them, or he's like, no, I know what I'm doing. And look, he's been taking so many shots, and I'm not gonna say that I ever defended him, but I will say I told everybody at the beginning of the year, I'm giving everyone a year to figure it out. And now we're almost 11, we're 9 months in, almost 10 months in now, and all it is massive L's from the Beckwith LG's office. And there's no fixing. There's no coming back from this now. You have Cernovich still going after you. When you have Captain Dreamer still going after you. And now what they're doing is that they're doing the same thing to Beckwith that they're doing to Braun. Every time that he'll post something, he's just getting destroyed in the comments. No one is ever going to forget this. The only people that are going to basically apologize for him were all the boomer cons. It's like, well, you know what? It was a communications person. He didn't know, blah, blah, blah. Dude, you have so many eyes on you. You're getting shots all the time. The last thing that you need is a bad tweet, especially a tweet where you're basically saying, "Hey, you know what? These are hardworking Haitians. These are 40,000 people that are seeking asylum here in Indiana." And by the way, when he said, "Oh, well, they're already here," then why are you saying that they're seeking it here? Oh, well, they're already here. Really? Because your post basically indicated that they were looking to come to Indiana. This is what I mean. Is that if you're going to put out a tweet, you should look at it and be like, good or not good. You should have the final authority because it's your name. It's that person is representing you. And I don't know how many times I have to say that. Like, it's just like pure incompetence from that office right now. And I don't know if Braun has castrated him or not, where he's basically not able to do anything, or what is going on. All right, so I do my show on Saturday. The following morning, I'm getting ready to do some football. Football's back, baby. And I was ready to go watch some football at a friend's house, and I find somebody had made a post, and they were like, "Why did you delete your tweet?" I'm like, "What? He deleted it?" And obviously, you can tell he deleted it. 36, 71 likes. What is that? Our public employees should not be allowed to lock down posts so only certain citizens make a comment. This is no behavior for. Okay, well, first off, you're allowed to. I hate to break it to you, but you're actually allowed to. Yeah, this is the Republican Party once Trump leaves. I 100% agree with. To be fair, Trump could be doing a better job at the immigration stuff. You know what? You can just do things in case you didn't know. But that's totally spot on. I mean, the Republican Party in Indiana is basically liberal light. They're what's the other old saying? They're progressivism driving the speed limit. Like listen, the Republican Party will eventually be okay with trans stuff. You just have to give it like 15 years. They're already okay with butt fucking. So they'll be okay in like 10 years with kids being allowed for kids to get cut up and become Frankenstein monsters, basically. All right, so continuing on. One of the things I wondered, somebody had posted like, where is Aaron Wren? Because he's supposed to be this conservative, right? Well, then he made a post 14 hours ago. I think it was like 14 or 15 hours ago. He goes, obviously, I don't want 47,000 bogus asylum seekers from Haiti or anywhere else. There are a lot of people out there who obviously want attention more than anything else and constantly say controversial things to get it. As a general rule, I don't like to engage with them. That means nothing. This is like a nothing tweet. I don't want it. Nobody wants to. You don't want to engage with them about what? All you have to say is, I don't want 47,000 bogus asylum seekers from Haiti or anywhere else. Boom, done. That's all you got to say. Who wants attention? We are bringing attention to our lieutenant governor, who was indicating that he was okay with 40,000 Haitians coming to. And by the way, did he get that wrong? Yeah, first off, it's 40,000, not 47,000. So this fucking boomer obviously doesn't know what's going on. A total Hamilton County elitist. But this is another reason why I don't like Aaron Wren. Right here. There should be a process for foreign investors to bring over workers as needed. But problems with that aren't an excuse for not following rules. No, actually, there shouldn't be. You should not be bringing over foreigners. You're investing in this one area because you're trying to make a product, right? So Volkswagen wants to go to Mexico. You're not exactly bringing American workers there, right? Or at least a bunch of them for cheap labor. The only reason, I think somebody made a really good point that was spot on. There is a process, just cheaper to do it illegally. Who determines who's needed? And yeah, almost always the need is to pay 50% less. 100% spot on. But apparently, Aaron Wren is in his Hamilton County mansion, being his elitist jackass self, saying, you know what? Actually, there should be a process to bring in all these foreigners. And here's the biggest L right here. This is another L. One difference I have with some is that I actually think the bulk of immigrants are great people at the individual level. I don't. And this is what happens when you don't live in Marion County, when you live in Hamilton County. I got a bunch of Mexicans across the street from me. I got Indians right next to me that threw out a bunch of garbage in the front yard that hasn't been picked up in months. That is their culture. Individualism, right? Some of them have inspiring stories, but our immigration system is not working for our country and its people, and we need a big cutback now. No, we need a 20-year memorandum. We should not be having any more immigrants come here for the next 20 years. Where is it? The LEAP district. While the LEAP district in Indiana has not yet proven successful, Indiana does need a mega site like it, which is where major advanced manufacturing investments have been moving. Booming states like Tennessee and North Carolina aggressively use mega sites. And how much in tax incentives do they get? Wait a minute. You're saying we need it. Hey, the LEAP district has not proven like it's actually doing anything well, but we need it. We need one that'll actually work. I mean, this guy is the biggest dope, and anybody inviting him to do any kind of public speaking, I do not know what's wrong with you. But you know what? You guys will eventually see it because I am right on all of this stuff. When I know a bullshitter, when I see a bullshitter, I know. How many times have I been right when I said do not trust that guy? That guy's a snake. I'm not calling him a snake. I think he's just a Hamilton County elitist, another dipshit. But like when I call people, when I know what they are, you eventually figure it out. How many times have I said it? I said it about Shreve. I said it about Michael Paul Hart. I said about most of these people in the Indianapolis GOP that do not trust them. Now, what happens if they are granted the asylum process? How does it work? Well, while they're in asylum application, no federal cash or SNAP unless they qualify under other status, e.g., if they have a U.S. citizen children. Those are called anchor babies. Emergency Medicaid only, schooling for children. So no matter what, they're getting free public education. Your tax-paying dollars, that is what is going to. Work authorization and EAD. So what is it? They can apply for a work permit 150 days after filing for asylum, but it usually can't be granted for at least 180 days have passed. This is what helps bring wages down because now you have cheap labor from state and local programs like New York, California, Illinois, Massachusetts. Wow. Blue states, who would have guessed, Tom, allowing all these illegals to come in here or asylum seekers. They provide limited care, food assistance, or shelter programs for immigrants. And I talked about this on Saturday. And actually, I want to bring it up right now. Was Rokita. He had a thing I talked about on Saturday, and I said, what about Exodus refugee? I went to one of their things where they talked about giving them like basically furnished apartments. And I don't know if it was $400 a month per person or just $400 and that's all you get. But now Rokita, after I've been talking about it for a while, he's going after them. Hell yeah. I don't know if anything will happen, but I'm just glad that the lens is on Exodus refugee finally. I think they're based in like Evansville or Bloomington. Yeah, Bloomington. And they're bringing people from the rape capital of the world too. If you didn't know that, like when I went to one of their meetings where they talked about all this stuff, I'm never going to go to another one because I'm sure the word is out about me. They talked about how like a lot of the people that they're coming or their refugees are coming from the Congo. And in case you didn't know about the Congo is the rape capital of the world. So take that for what it's worth. All right, but if they are granted asylum, they get the RCA, but not eligible for TANF, usually up to 12 months. Refugee Medicaid assistance, similar to Medicaid, up to 12 months, if not Medicaid eligible. They get food stamps and cash welfare. They get Medicaid /CHIP. Full coverage if eligible by income. And I'm guaranteeing you it will probably be eligible by income because they're all getting paid dirt shit. Because that's how you keep wages down. Refugee support, supplemental security income, work authorization, again, pathway to permanent residence. Oh boy, oh great. So you can apply for a green card, and then you can just really keep wages down. This is what you're seeing a lot with Uber drivers. You're seeing it with delivery drivers. Now, I mean, obviously now you see it with truck drivers. We saw what happened in what was it, Florida or Texas, where that Sikh killed those 3 people who actually killed 3 Haitians. Unbelievable. I'm not laughing at that. Just like I think there was Haitians that were here illegally too. So now like the illegals are killing the illegals. That's just where we've come. All right. So do you also remember Barbecue? A Haitian rebel and gang leader, former policeman and warlord. And let's not forget like how corrupt Haiti is. One of the Haiti's most notorious gang leader. Wasn't that guy a cannibal or something? Isn't that what they were saying? So I wanted to know. It's like the Haitians are pretty dumb, to be honest with you. And I want to know what their IQ was. I'm gonna find out. I cannot find their IQ. I mean, you can see in like Dominican Republic, it's 80. So maybe it's 80, maybe it's 70. In Cuba, it's 90. I think the average IQ is like it's 102. In the US, it's 102. Where was Panama is 981. Where was okay, so yeah, Syria 74. There's a lot of inbreeding happening over here though. Where was it? Kosovo 79. Don't worry, these IQs are probably going to get worse since there are all these low IQ people are moving up into the Europe. That one. New Guinea is 78. All right, so I just Googled it. I don't know if it is. The average IQ in Haiti is reported to be around 60. Although the figure is often debated and criticized for its methodical flaws and culture bias. So I wanted to know, what is the average IQ of an adult with Down syndrome? Turns out it's around 50. Personally, I thought it was 55. But so if this is true, they're barely better than somebody with Down syndrome. Shocker, right? And then, so what ended up happening was Micah or his team or somebody on there deleted all the tweets. And it wasn't just the Haitian tweets either. It was also a tweet about this one. He also deleted that one. And the only reason I was able to find this tweet because it was still active on the Twitter app on the phone. So I made sure I screenshotted it and then we posted it. Honored to meet with those amazing pastors at yesterday's Marion County Hispanic Roundtable. Your faith and service help build up communities across Indiana. By sharing best practices from the county to county, we are paving the way to a brighter future. Thank you all for your leadership. And what happened was we made a joke. We like retweeted it and said like, oh, another 40,000 of Mexicans are coming in too. That's why it has so many views. Just then that took off. I mean, he got ratioed so bad in the comments. We were destroying him. I mean, oh yeah, this is what I want to bring up too. Jamie. Where is it? Yeah, right here. Yeah, Jamie Reitenhauer. She's getting destroyed in the comments too. She goes, as Christians advocating for people all over the world and supporting missions is an honor. We also love our neighbors as we love ourselves. Building up Hoosiers and advocating for the constitutional rights and their voices to be heard is my honor. Watching Hoosiers come together and stand side by side as neighbors is an incredible privilege. We can't rob Peter to pay Paul. Sure, a strong Indiana is one where individuals, churches, and businesses give to trusted people, ministries, and organizations all over the world. Right now, Hoosiers are looking to their own backyards because it feels like there are fires everywhere, and it almost seems intentional. And everything is burning. There's no unity, just every man for himself. Hoosiers have caught on. The property tax issue opened everybody's eyes. Now they're standing together across the state. They're communicating and helping one another. Some are envious and still seeking attention for themselves. But overall, there's a true movement. It troubles me that so many grassroots leaders have abandoned these efforts in their time. The Lord can use anyone, and I believe Hoosiers will persevere. She gets destroyed in the comments. I mean, ratioed like a son of a bitch. I mean, she gets like 5 likes and she's getting a lot of attention. We kind of started this whole thing. Yeah, what in the Sam hell are you talking about? That is a lot of words to say nothing at all. Thanks, Jamie. And we're going like, so are you okay or not okay with 40,000 Haitians coming to Indiana? And by the way, she hasn't responded, which I thought was really weird because she will usually respond. She'll either like retweet or she will actually like respond to this whole thing. But this is what I've been talking about for a long time. Yeah, and this is the most annoying part too. FYI, there's much more to any post I make when you dig into the Constitution. This is what I cannot stand about these people. They're all about like, oh, we can fix this with the Constitution. The Constitution will prevail. Hey, as long as we show these people the Constitution, this is just totally fake. All right. And I'm not talking about like the Constitution. I'm just talking about these people that constantly want to take the high road and be like, the Constitution will prevail. We just have to show them, be like, see, this is allowed. This is not allowed. And you think that we can negotiate with these animals that are okay to put your children up in a Frankenstein's table and cut them up? No. You think they have a problem? They're not even talking about that poor girl that got stabbed in the neck by that animal over in North Carolina. And you're thinking that you're going to be able to show them the Constitution and they'll totally be able to get that? No, they'll throw you in a cage and then kill you and rape you in that order, most likely. But she hasn't said anything at all. Well, let me just check real quick. Yeah, she hasn't said anything at all. I don't know, when did she post that? 10:07. This was at 7:7. Oh, okay. So I've been saying this for a long time. I think Jamie's an op. I think you guys are going to start figuring it out here pretty soon. And if you look through her social media, it's just her doing some Trump ball licking. That's all she's really doing. She's just putting out word salad bullshit all the time. Like, what are you talking about? What exactly are you saying? What's up with the Dickens novel? Less talky, more doing. It's embarrassing. All right, so we did all that. We did all that. Anthony Rokita doing all that. All right, perfect. So things that happened during the city council. I still have 15 minutes left. All right, so I want to talk about what happened at the city council meeting. A lot of stuff happened. All right, so I got there. So today was the day where they're going to vote down for the data center. And basically, I think they have like another talk about it. And then September 22nd, that's like the real vote. And I'll be there, obviously. So I get there because I'm the field reporter for Indie Reporter, of course. And of course, I do talk text. And every time I do talk, and I didn't double check it, but I don't think anybody really cared about. There, Jesse Brown was right there screaming. I don't know what he was screaming at Windows. I'm not exactly sure what they were screaming at, though. Go hit on the blonde. No, I didn't. I don't. By the way, I don't talk to Jesse Brown. Jesse Brown's a dope. I know all of you guys are like, well, he's honest. Yeah, he's an honest dope. All right, so obviously did not start on time. Yeah, Fady Kadora. There's a lot of talking that happens during these meetings. One of the things that I saw was Josh Bain, Dan Boots, and Art were all talking, and yet, Larry Vaughn was not there, which is too bad. They had public testimony that you could give too. And I don't know what they were talking about, but Carlino and McCormick were doing a little chit chatty too. So the first hurdle got done. Everybody voted for it. So now we have to wait until the 22nd. Now, this is where things get really interesting. I think Hart and Bain were pushing for three things. One was the residence requirement. Now, for those who don't know, if you work for the city government, if you work for Indianapolis, I don't know if it's Marion County or if it's just Indianapolis, there are certain jobs that require you to live in Marion County or Indianapolis. And one of them is the public defender's office. Not for the prosecutor's office, but the public defender's office. And the chief public defender talked about during committee about how hard it is to hire people because you have to live in Indianapolis. Like I said, I don't know if it's Marion County or Indianapolis. Kind of the same to me. It's still kind of dumb though. I never knew that. I mean, because I come from the private sector. I would never really work for the government. Working for the government's lame. It's like the cushiest job ever. You get paid money, you get health insurance, you get life insurance, and it's really hard to get fired. So Michael Paul Hart, he had put an amendment where it would just change the residence requirement just for the public defender's office. And then every single person voted no. But the talk about it was really funny. So, but let's listen real quick.
Mr. President. Yeah, I've got a motion this evening where, I'm just taking, and I've got an amendment for this where I'm just taking a lot of feedback that we had in committee. Essentially, what this amendment does, it removes the original language of alleviating the residency requirement completely. And really, we heard from the chief public defender that evening, and he made a very compelling case that it's hard for him to be in parity with the prosecutor's office. And then in subsequent weeks, we actually heard from the sheriff's department about making sure that we're fulfilling our constitutional duty, which got me thinking about this proposal. And
okay, so this is the most important part, which they talked about this during committee.
It doesn't come up very often where we have to make sure we're fulfilling our constitutional duty, or what the city is. But in this case, we actually do with the public defender. And if he's having a hard time hiring folks to provide the right to representation, because we are prohibiting that through our municipal code, then we are in the way. And so what this proposal does is
It's just a cutout, but what Josh
Mr.
Bain
President,
says is more
just
important.
want to briefly thank Councilor Hart for his work on this, and obviously as a co-sponsor, I fully supported the proposal in its original form and thought it would be a really good thing for the citizens of Marion County. But I do think the amendment will put us in a strong place to allow the Public Defender's Office to recruit from outside Marion County, just like the prosecutor's office can. And we are fulfilling our duty, because the thing is, there is a state law around how many cases a public defender can have.
This is the most important part. Maybe I'll back up like second.
Prosecutor's office can, and we are fulfilling our duty, because the thing is, there is a state law around how many cases a public defender can have. And we get pretty close to that number. And the thing is, we get a reimbursement back from the state that's a little over $11 million a year, because we stay below that threshold, that number that the state sets. So I think it's very important that we do everything we can to make sure we stay below that. Heaven forbid we would ever go above that threshold and lose out on the tens of millions of dollars a year in reimbursements that we get from the state. So I would encourage everybody to.
All right, so this got me thinking. Was you can make an argument of why Ryan Mears is working with the, possibly working with the public defender's office, or, just in general, to try and get plea deals going through there. Because if you're so close to that limit, of that allowed limit, and you're going to have a chance of missing out on $11 million, $11 million, that would make sense why Ryan Mears is trying to push through all these cases, and the public defender's office. But don't you worry, as usual, Democrats don't give a shit. But my favorite comment was Jesse Brown, because it shows how much of a dope he is.
Thank you to Councilors Bain and Hart for bringing this. Comments on the specific amendment first. I do think it's important that the Public Defender's Agency gets parity with the prosecutor's office. However, in this case, to the best of my knowledge, the chief public defender has still not provided the opportunity for the public defenders who are working.
Oh, by the way, check
to
out his little sippy cup.
To actually sit and have their demands met. They're just waiting for a fair arbitration agreement. When the employees are directly telling the chief public defender what they need most, and the chief public defender is refusing to meet them in the middle, to me, we can play around with code all we want, but we're dodging the central issue there. So I'll be voting no on this. Thank you.
No, the central issue is you're having a staffing problem. Unionizing is not going to help with the staffing problem. Maybe it'll help with more pay, but you could always pay more people. You could always pay more. The central issue is you are restricting of who can work for the public defender's office. And Jesse Brown is. No, actually, the central issue is that they're not able to unionize because the chief public defender is dragging his feet. Absolute dope. This is low IQ socialist thinking. And then you have these fucking clowns, these land whales in the crowd. They're like, oh, yeah, you go, girl. You go.
For our vote, two fails.
All right, so the only Democrat that voted yes for that cutout for the public defender was Dan Boots. Very surprising.
7 to 18. Then let us.
Okay. Okay, so the amendment failed to have just the cutout for public defender. So then the proposal, the original proposal, was up for a vote, because that's just how it works. Obviously, Jesse Brown had to put in his comment for it. This might be worse than the first one.
I, again, wanted to thank Councilors Hart and Bain and my other colleagues who voted for this for taking seriously the severe staffing issues that do exist within this administration. And it is true that we heard Ray Casanova, the chief public defender, and several other department heads and agency heads stating they would like to remove the residency requirement. So
okay, so we now know it wasn't just, hey, you know what, we're thinking about doing it. I woke up one night and said, you know what, we should totally make it where it's possible for anybody it doesn't matter where you live, that can work for the public defender's office at that. And Jesse Brown is agreeing with that. Don't worry, it gets worse.
Not saying that they're making up this issue or trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist. But, and I did mention this privately as well, I think my colleagues are failing to address the elephant in the room here, which is Joe Hogsett's abusive behavior that makes it clear the city is not a welcoming place for people to work. We've been talking about this issue for 13 months as a council. Within the last week, the Mirror Indy article came out just showing that the abuse was not limited to Thomas Cook, was not limited to sexual abuse.
Mr. President, I would like to end this conversation that has nothing to do with this item on the agenda. Thank you.
I feel strongly this does have to do with the exact thing under discussion here, which is staffing within the
Mr. President, I don't
organization.
think personal attacks about some news article from a newspaper is relevant to this discussion.
Do you want to call the question?
I can conclude my
Paper is relevant to this discussion.
I didn't hear this part. Bob Osley says, do you want to call in a question?
Call the question?
Which would mean that you're killing committee debate. Now, I remember how, oh man, I think I talked about this on Saturday. I think they're going to be using that a lot more for now on, because once it happened in the public safety committee meeting a couple of weeks ago, it was used again in the next one. And now they're using it again in the full council meeting. I think they're going to start using it whenever they're like, you know what, this conversation is getting too uncomfortable, or I just want to get out of this meeting. And then they're like, let's just call it a question. Let's just kill the committee debate. And I don't think Leroy heard it.
My statement in one sentence, which is we could end these problems if all 25 councilors would simply call for Mayor Hogsett to resign. Thank you.
Oh yeah, one more note too. You see that right back there? You probably can barely see. There's a guy with a tie on. That's Dan Parker. He's number 2 to Joe Hogsett. I was sitting right next to him, and when that public defender cutout failed, like, I did not expect that to happen. So apparently he thought that and by the way, Dan Parker does not want to change the residency requirement because that the income tax dollars, that's what they're worried about.
Is to follow.
Okay, so
Is the board ready?
the only Republican that voted in favor of that particular, the original proposal, was Nick Roberts. So, yeah, very interesting that happened. Okay, I got one more I wanted to show because it was I already had that one up.
So hard. Yeah, I've got an amendment on this one too. I took some feedback.
All right, so this was about the proposal to fine the parents if there was a curfew violation for the children. Now, the original proposal was like, the first one, no big deal. You just get a warning. I think the second offense was $500, and I think the third offense was $1,000. So this one gets changed to a lower fine.
From council members on varying degree items. One was the amount of the fine. So what this amendment does, I'd like to move, is reduce the fine on the subsection BB from 500 to 300, and then BC from 1,500 to 700. It also adds the language up to on both of those. And Mr. President, with that, I so move.
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. Are there comments from councilors? Chairman Robinson.
Thank you, Mr. President. And again, we do appreciate Councilor Hart and his interest in this proposal. But I, as the chair, will just allow for more time to have a discussion with more community members, more stakeholders, more of those involved in this work as a profession before we have any other amendments to this proposal, Mr. President.
Very good. So I believe it has lowering the fees.
Okay, so there was this is the amendment where it would be lower fees for it. I forgot who voted.
I'm moving so far.
This is on the most, Mr. President, I think voted before we added.
So
Okay, so it was what, 10, 15? Okay, so it was 10 to 15. The Democrats that voted in favor for the fines were for the lowering of the fines was Jesse Brown, Jessica McCormick, Andy Nielsen, and Nick Roberts. They were okay with it. Everybody said no. I don't even want it. They were planning on killing it. So they killed this one and the original one because at the end of the day, Democrats do not believe in accountability. All they want to do is say, hey, we need to talk about it more. We need another study. Hey, you know what? We really liked this study, but what if we altered what we were looking for and then we get another study? Let's just keep dragging our feet and kicking the can down the road. Where Republicans were saying, no, we need action because this is what's going to happen. Either there's going to be two things that are going to happen. Either nothing will happen, or they're going to say, you know what, let's talk about it again, but then let's talk about it again next year, because by then it'll be too cold and there's going to be no children out anyway, which is frustrating, obviously. All right, so we did that. Change the resident. Oh yeah, okay. So when I was then Renee Allen is probably the dumbest city councilor ever. She was like, you know what? It's just so easy to get guns and blah blah blah. It's like, this is the real problem. It's like, all right, well, who's doing it? Hey, who's doing it? All right, maybe we should be talking about who is doing all the crime, or the majority of the crime. I think Perkins was acting like a dipshit too. So one last thing before I leave, I wanted to leave you with this. I was leaving and going to my car, and I was on the other side of Luger Plaza going into the parking garage off Washington, and there was some like bum yelling at the other bums at Luger Plaza, like $20, $20. Hey, you can have this for $20. And then I decided to walk over to Spark, and it was it smelled like urine as usual. And I cannot believe of how many people do not know how to use this, the crosswalk. Hey, when it says the red hand, that means you're not supposed to walk. It's literally that simple. But apparently it's too hard for people. So in case you didn't know as well, this whole thing has been recorded. So yeah. Hopefully you were okay with it. I did the best that I can with the recording. Don't forget to check out on Saturday night at 8:00 p.m. for the Whitty Review Show. And I am for sure going downtown. I didn't go downtown. I had drank a little too much and I was going to go drive there. But make sure you check out Whitty Reviews Saturday at 8 p.m. Love you guys. Bye.